Hello everyone, it's your boy Rainbow. Today I will be showing you how to create a new character in Where Winds Meet. For this video, I'm going to be making a new Yu Menglong character because we all know how that ended up last time, okay? But anyway, so the first step to creating a new character in Where Winds Meet is to make sure that your main character that you have in your account is binded to your Steam, Google, or any other connection. So all you have to do for that is go to your settings and scroll all the way to the end, and you'll see something like this. Click this section, and then there will be an option that says bind account. And from there, you can bind your character to any account that you would like. But make sure that your main character is binded. Okay. Once you have done that, make sure you exit to the main screen menu. So there will be an exit screen. So make sure if you're on PC, click the escape button and then click this little door right here. This is the exit. When you click exit, say exit to main screen, and it should take you to the main screen menu. So under resume in your main page, there should be an option to click select. So make sure that before you click select that your account is logged out, and you have something like this pop up on your screen, just click cancel. But anyway, once you got rid of the pop-up, now you can click select and you can create your own character. So you have the options to create at least 6 characters in total. Each will have different levels. I'm gonna show you guys how you can create that. And same thing, same process. So once you click this new character slot, you'll have to go through the process of how you started at the beginning when you first created your own character, as you guys are seeing here. For those of you that are interested in creating a character like Yu Menglong, all you have to do is go to the designer tab in the appearance section, go to the designer tab, and then type in my character's name, or you can type in my ID. Click on the character that says Nan Fong Yi or Little Fish. I believe I named it like that. I only have the makeup for that character, so just in case you want to keep your outfit but only change the face to fit Yu Menglong's character, you'll have that option. Alright, so I wanted to make this video a tribute to Yu Menglong. And while we're making this character, and you guys are able to see the process in this video, I'm going to talk about him. So, Yu Menglong was also known as Alan Yu, which was his artist name. He is also known as Yu Ming Yu on Spotify. However, if you are part of his fan base or his fandom, he's also dearly called Ming Ming. Yu Menglong was born on June 15 in Urumqi, China, where another actress named Dilraba Dilmurad, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, was born. He was a talented actor, singer, and even played the cello. He was a cellist. And he was a prominent actor in China, known for his roles in Chinese dramas and lots of films. But some of the Chinese dramas that he starred in were dramas such as Eternal Love, 10 Miles of Peach Blossoms, Go Princess Go, The Moon Brightens for You, The Love That Lasts Two Minds, Love Story of the Oil Paper Umbrella, Wenderella's Diary, Xuan Yuan Cloud, Hand Cloud, or Hand Sword. I don't know. I feel like I'm butchering that title. And the famous drama, which I'm sure most of you know, The Legend of the White Snake. If you guys would like to see the full list of movies and dramas that he was part of, make sure to check out the My Drama list. There's a full list of his films, his shows, his dramas, if you guys would like to check that out. So Yu Menglong was also known as a singer, and he had such an angelic, ethereal, and a soft, hazy voice in his songs. Like if you listen to his songs, especially even when he sings those high notes, it still has a bit of that breathy, misty, mystical, angelic sound of his. But anyway, he has made multiple albums throughout his life and has sung in multiple dramas throughout his entire career. So, in no particular order, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite songs from him that are my favorite. The first one is Yu Menglong, Niao Menglong. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, which means the moon is hazy, the birds are dim. What's interesting is that Yu Menglong, right? Yu means little fish or fish. Um, and Menglong means hazy or misty. The next song I liked was from the Chinese drama Love Story of the Paper Umbrella, called Halftime Misty Rain. So the protagonist of that Chinese drama actually sang in that song. And it's really beautiful and I really like it. It's one of my favorites. Another song I like is from the Chinese drama The Moon Brightens for You, called Moonlight. Very like majestic. The intro, the instrumentals are just so majestic, and his voice is like very like intelligent. Like that song, if I were to describe it as a part of nature, it would be the moon with the night sky, a peaceful like song, right? Um, Anyway, another song I really like is from one of his albums. I don't know what it's called because it's in Chinese, but I put it in Google Translate, and apparently the song is called Directed and Acted. That's one of my favorite songs. And last but not least, another one of my favorite songs of his is called Mirror, which was actually directed by himself. There was also somebody who did an English translation of the song. It just has like this. It, I don't know how to describe it, but there's like something ethereal about his songs. I guess the best way I can describe them is just they come from a watercolor painting to life. That's the best way that I can describe them. But anyway, here are some other talents of his. So here's a clip of him from a TV show of him playing the cello live. So after he's done playing the cello, then he starts singing. Like that's how multi-talented he was. He was also known to be extremely disciplined when it came to his work and very perfectionist when it came to his art. He was also an amazing artist, such as shown in this picture. He was a visionary and he was just an incredibly talented human being. Yu Menglong was beloved by everyone in China. And I have seen like some behind the scenes footage and some clips from his coworkers talking about him and praising him. He would leave a lasting impression with the people he worked with. And the people he worked with, I'm talking his co-actors, I'm talking his co-workers, I'm talking like people of the production team even, they he would leave such a lasting impression with them. And they would praise him for having such a hard work ethic and having this heart of gold. Someone who was extremely kind, really generous. That's who he was at his core. And he cared about people, including his fans, and even being a gentleman, like being like shown in some of the clips here. He had two dogs named Huo Tui. I'm butchering that, I'm sorry, and Fuli. Fuli was a corgi dog, and Tui, Huo Tui, I don't know how you pronounce that, I'm sorry, was a French bulldog. And it is believed that Fuli had passed away before him. However, those facts are unconfirmed. What is known now is that unfortunately both dogs have passed away. So, fun fact, Fuli in Chinese means welfare, well being, abundance, and blessings. Huo Tui means fire leg or ham, which is also known to be a staple food in the Yunnan province in China. More about his fan base. His fan base clearly loved Yu Menglong, and they were called Lemons. That was the name of their fandom. They even had a chant for him, as shown in this picture. I don't know what the chant means, so feel free to translate it for me if you guys can. So the reference to his fandom was also shown in the song You Already Knew, where he shows himself near a lemonade stand. Now, I do not know why his fandom was called Lemons. I do have a few theories why Yu Menglong called his fandom Lemons, or his fan base Lemons. In Chinese culture, lemons are seen as symbols of wealth and prosperity. In a way, I feel that Yu Menglong wished wealth and prosperity and good fortune to his fans. I came up with that theory because his dog is also called Fu Li, which has a similar connotation as I've mentioned before. Another theory I have is that there's the saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, which means um, that lemons, which are bitter and sour fruit, can be made sweet. It's basically meaning that you have to be positive even in times of hardships and suffering, which kind of goes along with what he had been through. He had been through a lot of suffering, like being exploited by his company, and being mistreated by people in his company as well throughout his life. And this lemonade theory is reinforced by that song I mentioned before. Um, to see the full song, it's not on YouTube, surprisingly. I'm gonna try to see if I can find one, but I saw it on Facebook, as it's not publicly available on YouTube, because I believe that in China, most of his work is being censored, like his name is censored. Um, so if you guys want to see his song, I will leave a link in the description if I can find the video for you guys to see. But regardless, Yu Menglong, it's clear that Yu Menglong cared and loved his fans so dearly, right? And another thing about Yu Menglong is that he also did volunteering and charity work during his life. He volunteered to be a teacher in underprivileged regions in China, especially in the mountain villages where most children did not have an access to education. He spent many years away from the entertainment industry, dedicating his time to teaching. And he believed that everyone should have access to knowledge and education, so he built a charity library in rural areas. And even during the floods in the Henan province, Yu Menglong generously donated 500,000 yuan to help those affected. He even supported children with autism, constantly donating and funding programs that would help them. He also donated 103,000 yuan to children with leukemia so that they can get proper treatment. Even after his passing, a charity received a donation from him, which emphasized his heart of gold and generosity. Many fans say that it is believed he had autopay on his bank account, which automatically sent donations to charities he donated to. The letter was publicly shown, and I'm going to show an image of it here. I put it in Google Translate. The charity was called the Red Heart People Project, and the donation was made on September 20, 2025, 9 days after his passing. And the letter also reveals that he was a monthly donor, which also highlighted his charitable deeds. Like, this guy, despite being exploited, despite dealing with his own suffering, despite not being paid a lot by his own company, as revealed in some contracts and details of his passing, he still gave most of his money to people in need, despite him suffering, despite him not having much. And that just shows who he truly was at heart. And I can see why many people resonate with him. I can see why people love him so dearly. And I can see why his death had such a huge impact in the world, not just in China, in the world. Because his voice has now spread across the globe. People know his story now. And it's just sad to see that we have lost such a pure soul. But anyway, you also might be expecting that I talk about his death and the rumors of him, the details of his death coming out. If you want to look into that, I suggest looking at the Ron and Mango's podcast, okay? She has already talked about him in multiple episodes. She did an incredible job at covering almost everything in detail. There are also many psychics and mediums who have been covering his death and life, such as Ty William, Deborah McDonald, Slow and Bella, Candice Starr, 204, and the True Team from Taiwan. And Aphrodite, I think, did a psychic reading on him. So if you're, somebody who believes in the metaphysical and the spiritual, and you find comfort wanting to know more about what happened at his death, feel free to check those out. That being said, I do want to clarify, it's important to also be logical and to be skeptical of a lot of the information coming out, right? Don't believe rumors blindly. Because there was a lot of misinformation and rumors spreading during the time of his passing. People were claiming that Jimin and Jungkook from BTS, yes, those very same people who are going the world tour right now, paid Yu Menglong a tribute or something like that. They said something about like justice for Yu Menglong. I tried finding a post, but I couldn't find any. Therefore, it's a rumor. It would be nice though if they, came out with a statement, about his case. But I couldn't find anything in regards to this, so it was a rumor, right? Unfortunately, I believe people resort to lying or doing these sort of things because people are grieving, right? When you're grieving, you want some sort of comfort, right? And it's understandable. A lot of people, especially those who are connected with Yu Menglong, um, feel immense pain and grief during this time. And it's understandable. I'm not going to invalidate um, the things coming out. I don't want to invalidate the things because it could be true, it could be not, right? But that's why I'm saying, be a little bit more discerning when it comes to the information coming out about him. Alan Yu, or Yu Menglong, passed away on September 11th of 2025 in the Chaoyang district in Beijing, China, in an apartment building. He was last seen at a party believed to have been attended by 17 people. It was believed that he fell from the window, and it was ruled as a drunk accident by the government of China. This is automatically sus because, number one, Yu Menglong was scheduled to be on live TV on national television with an interview the next day. He is known to be extremely disciplined and strict. He is not a heavy drinker, as shown in this clip. He is also known to be extremely disciplined, especially when he has a huge event coming up. Number two, the windows in that apartment were believed to have a heavy mesh film on them, almost impossible to break. So how could he have slipped to his death? Number three, footage shows two people hanging his body from the window and the window below it having nail scratches. The voice where he is screaming is believed to be his, has been confirmed by fans of his. Now, before you go and watch this footage, please don't, if you are extremely sensitive. I watched it and I had nightmares. I couldn't sleep for days. His voice still haunts me to this day. So I'd be careful if I were you. Just, viewer discretion is advised here. And number four, how come 17 people didn't call the police or try to stop him if he accidentally fell out of the window? Just some food for thought, allegedly. What is even more weird about this case is that his name is being censored in China. Some people have resorted to using keywords like lemon and fish. Fish is in Chinese is Yu, which is Yu Menglong's surname, I believe. Lemon because of the fandom. Any people who question the case or who speak out for him are automatically blacklisted or silenced. An actor recently spoke up about him and was immediately shown to be heavily monitored. I won't get into the details as Rod and Mango has already talked about this, and other people have already talked about his death a lot. So, like I said, check out those people I listed above if you guys are interested in wanting some answers. After his passing, though, a Buddhist ceremony was held by someone named Sonderong, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, in Taiwan. Sonderong has been an active voice in wanting justice for Yu Menglong. Yu Menglong called him dad. Derong called him a son. So they had like a father-son bond, even though they weren't exactly blood related. Anyway, what's chilling is that in the ceremony, there's a clip of Yu Menglong's breathy voice, and it can be heard in this clip where he's saying "I'm here" in Chinese. Some people claim that he said "hi" in a breathy, soft-spoken voice. You can hear the voice in the clip, and I'm gonna play it right now. So Taiwan has been very active in fighting and advocating for justice in the case. However, even two people from Taiwan called 204 and True, who have been using EVP to communicate with Menglong's spirit, were recently threatened to take down their videos and stop speaking up about him. But regardless, one beacon of hope remains, which is the petition in IVAS, seeking justice for Yu Menglong. It has been suppressed for months now, as it's stuck in 700,000 signatures for over a few months. And we must reach the goal of 1 million signatures. So please advocate for his justice on this case by signing the petition. All you need is a name and an email, okay? Share it with your friends, your loved ones, your family. If you guys are interested, link is in the link tree and in the description, or you can Google Ava's Yu Menglong petition. Now you might be wondering, why am I suddenly speaking up about this? Well, for one, his death and his passing is unjust. The government has spun the narrative on who he was, ruling him to be a drunk person, when that is the complete opposite of who he is. He was a person just like us, from a humble family background. His father died at an early age, and his mother always supported him in his dreams. He was a trainee in multiple shows where his journey to becoming a star began. He came from low, humble background. He was what I like to call the Princess Diana of China. He was beloved by the people, but hated by the industry. And now his voice is known all across the globe, and he has become a symbol for justice and humanity. But again, why is this case so important? Why should we care about this case? We are seeing this right now in the US, where we are already seeing the heavy spinning of narratives and censorship, allegedly. Okay, allegedly. Everything I say is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, okay? We are already seeing how the deaths of Alex, Renee, Minnesota are being spinned, even though the footage clearly shows one thing when the party says another. Similarly, we know that the footage and audio leaked of Yu Menglong, at least of his case, say one thing, yet the party say another. If a celebrity like Yu Menglong, who had 25 million fans before the time of his passing, can be suppressed, silenced, exploited, and even be unalived, what does that say about a regular citizen? Yu Menglong represents all of us. If this can happen to him, it can happen to any of us. He is our voice, the voice of humanity. He is our siblings, our children, our parents, our families, and even our friends and loved ones. If we can't get justice for him, if we cannot try to fight for him at least, who will fight for us? Who will seek justice for us? Who will seek justice for our children? That's why we have to try. We have to try and fight. We have to try and do something. One of the characters played by Yu Menglong was called Nan Feng Yi in the drama The Love Story of the Oiled Paper Umbrella. One of the quotes that stood out to me said by his character was, "How many more innocent lives must be killed in exchange for the justice you speak of?" And with that note, let me remind you to please sign the petition for justice and check out my other resources in the link tree. Thank you so much for listening. Justice for Yu Menglong, justice for the world, justice for everybody. And until next time, Rainbow out.